Welcome back to our channel. This video is going to be about the next project, added request screen. There's a lot of stuff this time, so without further ado, let's get started. The list of files that I'm going to show are the providers, added request screen, added request form, carousel, image drawer, no image, and main.dat. First, let's see the providers. First is the new provider file, added request provider. Here we manage the state related to adding an aid request. This includes functions for handling images, titles, descriptions, category selection, location selection, and validation. We have the state variables underscore image items, which is a static list of file objects to store images. Underscore titles stores the title of the aid request. Underscore description stores the description of the aid request. Underscore cat ID stores the category ID of the aid request. Underscore picked location stores the location selected by the user. And subcategory is the list of categories with amounts. Then we have the getters images items, which returns a copy of underscore images items, which prevents direct modifications. The rest, picked location, title, description, and cat ID are private, so they can only be modified through specific functions. Void get title and void get description methods handle the title and descriptions respectively and update title and description whenever the user enters a title or description. Void get location method handles location and saves the user selected location into picked location. Validate request data method ensures all required fields are filled. If location is not selected, it returns please choose a valid location. If at least one image is not added, it returns please add at least one image. If cat ID is empty, it returns please select a category. If subcategories is empty, it returns please add amount to at least one subcategory. And if all conditions pass, it returns true, indicating success. Then we come to image management. Void add image method adds new images to underscore images items and calls notify listeners to update the UI. Images to be deleted method removes an image at the given index and calls notify listeners to update the UI. Static remove image method clears all images, and since this is a static method, it doesn't require an instance of added request. Then we have category and subcategory management. Static getCatID method loops through a list of categories and sets cat ID if it matches the given ID. Void getCategory method sets the category ID and resets the subcategories list. Remove subcategories method clears all subcategories. And last we have the clear all data method, which resets all fields to the default empty values. Coming to the added request screen, this is the screen where users submit a request. It interacts with the added request provider to manage user input and validation. So first we have the imports and stateful widget initialization. Underscore form key is used to validate the form and underscore is loading controls the visibility of the loading spinner. Final list string underscore categories method retrieves categories from categories provider and gets an instance of added request provider to manage form data. We have the call snackbar function to display error or success messages using scaffold messenger. The app bar displays submit aid request as title, and the back button clears the form using clear data and navigates back to the home screen. Then there's a screen body where we call the show carousel slider and form widget widgets. We also call category subcategory widget to display the categories and subcategories wrapped up in the padding and align widget. Finally, we have the submit button where we dynamically adjust its height and width using media query. We also style the button with elevation, giving the shape and background color. There's the onPressed function where we validate the form. We check if all required fields are filled with the provider.validate request data. If validation fails, it shows an error snack bar. If validation passes, it shows a loading spinner, calls provider.added request to submit the request, shows a success message with call snack bar, then resets the form with provider.clear data and navigates back to the home screen. Lastly, we have the loading indicator where if underscore is loading is true, it displays a loading spinner over the screen. Is the form widget, which is a stateful widget that creates a form for users to input details for an aid request. This form widget accepts a global key form state to handle form validation. Then we have the state management class with the text editing controllers. Title controller manages title input. Description controller manages description input. Location controller manages location input. Focus node manages focus between fields. The init state method initializes the focus node. Then the dispose method releases resources when the widget is removed to prevent memory leak. Then the build method retrieves the added request provider to update title and description in the provider. The form structure follows the form key for form validation, padding for layout spacing, and a column that arranges form fields vertically. Inside the column, we have the text form fields. First is the title field for title input, where users can enter a title of maximum 100 characters with a title controller. OnChanged updates UI and sends the title to added request provider. On field submitted moves focus to the next field, and validator ensures the field is not empty. Then we have the description text form field for description input, where users can enter maximum 500 characters, allows a maximum of 5 lines. Again, onChanged function updates UI and sends the description to added request provider, and validator ensures field is not empty. Move to the carousel slider widget. The show carousel slider is a stateful widget because the current image index changes dynamically. Image URLs is passed to show images from the network. Current index tracks the currently displayed images in the carousel. Update index updates current index and refreshes the UI. List dynamic images method retrieves images from added request provider. Here the image comes from the provider and can be local or network based. Under the column, we give height and width using media query. Under stack widget, we have carousel slider builder to create a scrollable image slider. Item count limits images to 5 and each image is built using build view. And we have options viewport fraction to show full width images, enable infinite scroll, allows continuous scrolling, and on-page changed updates current index when a new image is shown. Coming to the image count indicator, it displays the current image index, and we have a dark transparent background for better visibility, and it updates dynamically as the user scrolls through images. Then we have the image indicators, the dots below the slider. For this, we use an animated container to smoothly animate the active dots. The dots also change color when an image is selected and only 5 dots are shown. Then we have the build view method which displays network images if image URLs are provided, and otherwise we use local file images. Last but not the least, we have the delete and add image buttons. We use the delete icon button to remove an image and update the current index. And if fewer than 5 images exist, users can add more through add icon button, which then opens a bottom sheet, which is the images drawer to select images. Images drawer file, which is a stateful widget that allows the users to upload images from the camera or gallery. It also ensures we can't upload more than 5 images and provides feedback using snackbar. There are no parameters in this class because it directly interacts with the provider. Here in the state, we have snackbar, which displays a message when user reaches image limit, image file, which stores selected images temporarily, and an instance of image picker to pick images from the gallery or camera. Inside the build method, we use the added request provider to access images items, and this allows real-time UI updates when images are added. First, we have the pick image from gallery method, which limits image selection to 5 by checking remaining slots. We use image picker to open the gallery, and when an image is picked, it converts it to file and adds it to selected images and updates images items using images.addImage method. After that, the drawer closes and shows a snack bar when 5 images are reached. After that, we have the image picker from camera method, where we can open the camera to capture an image. If an image is captured, it's converted to a file and added to the images items. Similar to before, the drawer is closed and a snack bar is displayed when the 5 images are reached. Then we have the UI layout where we give height and width of the drawer, display upload media as title with a thin gray divider separating the title from buttons. The capture image button calls pick image from camera, the gallery button calls pick image from gallery, and the cancel button in red color which closes the drawer if pressed. Now for the last one, the no image file. No image class is a stateless widget that displays a placeholder UI when no images are selected. Here users can tap a button to open the images drawer where they can add images from the gallery or camera. We return scaffold and align widget, and we use Inkwell as the child widget. Inkwell detects taps and shows a bottom sheet which is the images drawer when tapped. The model bottom sheet pops up images drawer and it has rounded corners, and we limit the width to avoid overflowing. Then we have the placeholder container with a gray background which indicates that there's no image. The height is zero point 0.4, which is 40% of the screen height, which ensures proper visibility and takes a full screen width. Inside it, we display an image icon and two texts, no image chosen yet, and you can add up to 5 images. Then we have the add icon button with a gray background, and pressing this icon will open images drawer. So here we have integrated the no image, images drawer and carousel slider seamlessly, keeping the UI clean and interactive. Last but not the least, we have the main.dat file where I have called the change notifier provider for the added request provider, user info provider, and categories provider. I have also called the user info provider for the set user details method where we retrieve user data from Firebase to help in the login and sign up process. Here on the emulator, I show the entire process like uploading images from the camera and from the gallery, the adding images and deleting images process, the title and description boxes, and the validation errors on the title and description boxes. And also, I show the clear data process by clicking the back button. So you can just see the entire process in here in the emulator.